So we're going to talk a little bit about pricing of video, of digital video, and maybe a little bit of a sort of a 5-year window or some kind of an extended window to where we are now, where it was extremely expensive. Now it's becoming more in line with a TV buy. Could you explain a little bit about the dynamics of the transition of pricing around digital video, why that happened, and where things stand now?
Sure. I mean, I think some of it is the natural evolution of a marketplace from the early stages of a new product where there just aren't that many bidders on either side. There's not that many buyers and sellers. So, you know, an efficient market requires a certain amount of pressure on both sides to find an equilibrium. And, you know, when digital video first started to be available, it was the most premium thing on a digital plan. So it was priced at a premium to the next most premium thing, which was, you know, a rich media unit or something like that. But so as the market has evolved and as more consumers are using more online video and it becomes an increasingly important part of the media mix and more advertisers are investing in it, it's opened up opportunities for digital video to compete in the broader TV video ecosystem. So as spending has increased, which is obviously happening very rapidly, and the price in general, especially in certain areas, has come down because there's more available, there's more interest, it's a more dynamic marketplace, and digital video has wanted to and is successfully competing against similar environments in linear TV.
So in terms of what you guys do, I know it's hard to generalize budgets or allocations, but how much is digital video as an allocation in the group, if you can say that, or anecdotally perhaps, and how might that develop in your opinion?
Well, you know, when you asked about pain points before, like that answering that question, I'm a TV advertiser, I have a video message and I spend around this. How much is the right amount for, you know, this campaign to move into online video? And then once you get into online video, what's the right allocation among all the options in online video? Like those are questions that are much easier to answer when you're looking at a single place like TV and the data is a little bit more transparent. I can access like what all the top programs are. It's a harder question to answer. I think, you know, we look at a lot of different factors, right? We look at usage compared to across the screens, but that's a fairly primitive way of allocating inventory. We have some tools that'll do cross-channel reach and frequency, but we'd like them to be stronger and more robust. So you kind of sound your way through it. And I think depending on the target, obviously, usage is heavier among younger consumers. And I also think what you're trying to accomplish, the message, how important it is for the user to be able to take an immediate action online are all factors in the plan.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about sort of social media and its impact on TV consumption, and how you kind of price that out, figure it out? We're going to speak to Mark Dahl a little later from the BBC about what they're doing with Twitter and some of their shows. But what are the opportunities for brands to be involved in this kind of real-time dialogue as it relates to broadcast TV?
Well, I guess we look at that two different ways. We're looking carefully at social activity in association with TV shows and in association with the advertising in those shows to help judge the environment. It's another measure of performance to see how attentive the viewer is, what their reaction is. You know, are they taking? It's a sign that they're attentive and that they're taking an action. And we're trying to do work to correlate that to the ultimate result, which is does an ad in a show that's getting, you know, more buzz on Twitter work harder?
Do you have any idea at this point, or is it all sort of just conjecture?
I think it's on broad strokes, it's an indication of commitment and passion for the environment, which I think has proven to be result in better advertising environment and better ROI. I don't think that we're deep enough into it to draw a direct connection, but we're starting to use more and more social data in the mix with the other measures that we use to judge programming environments. And then I think as an opportunity to leverage off what you're doing in TV, I think, and it's clear, it's not clear, but increasingly the preferred second screen, third screen experience is through social media. So, we're, especially with our big partnerships, but I think even, with some of the things that Twitter's done with a number of media partners, there's just increasing opportunity to activate what you're doing on TV through social media.
So on another topic that relates to real-time media buying is this whole discussion of programmatic, and whether it's auction-based or not, but what are the opportunities and what's happening at IPG Media Brands? Where do you think your company is going, and where is the industry going, and how does that tie in with advertisers? And kind of give us an idea of the roadmap there.
Sure. I mean, we draw a distinction between real-time bidding and programmatic. I think right now most of what is defined as programmatic is digital display that can more easily be bought on an RTB basis, and it makes sense to be bought that way. But we believe that programmatic is targeting your core customer, targeting that audience through the use of data and technology. And the decision about what you pay can be, at the moment of the video insertion or ad insertion, but it doesn't have to be. So, and I think increasingly when we're working with premium publishers, it's not a real-time bought unit. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes we have the opportunity when the impression comes up to turn back that impression, but it's at a price that's already predetermined. But other times we're buying the full stream, and we're going to allocate it based on what brand we think would perform well. But philosophically, we think that mechanism applies as broadly as possible across the media landscape. So we're in the midst of a 3-year plan where our goal is to automate 50% of all of our media transactions. And that's across traditional and digital media. We're not going to get to a point in 3 years, and we don't necessarily want to get to a point in 3 years where 50% of what we do is done programmatically. A lot of that automation is going to be looking at the legacy systems and technology about how you conduct regular transactions and trying to use technology to be smarter and more efficient with that stuff. But in everything we do, from local, national TV, radio, digital video, display, we are looking at the programmatic model because, as I was saying before, the demands of the data require a technological platform to secure the inventory. And so, like, when you're using that data and it's pointing out all of these small opportunities to reach your customer in places that you didn't expect, it's just a lot easier to execute that if there's a back end that connects to a media owner and you have one solution.